Also, one of the most important features is the participant zones. These participant zones are very important. I mean, they are the permissions or what I want the permission for the participant to do. Am I here? If I enable audio sharing, students can't use the microphone, so it's not allowed. Video sharing isn't allowed. Chat message sharing isn't allowed. Drawing on the whiteboard isn't allowed. Students can join, write, or erase. The best options are allowing downloads of recordings and sharing chat messages. These are the two most important options. Like, what are you doing now? You write to me in the chat. Okay. Drawing on the whiteboard? No. Why won't I allow it? Because if you open the whiteboard or open it and sit and write and explain, is that okay? If you are an activator or give the students permission to use the whiteboard, they can also enter, and while you are explaining, they can write on the whiteboard, and they can also write or delete what you are saying. So, if you allow them to do that, then the best two options are to enable downloads and share chats. That's fine. Some might ask about a specific event with 30 to 50 students, or a conference with over 250 to 400 attendees. Invite 500. Many may attend. Choose large session for 250 plus people. Enable it for 250 plus participants. Some might ask, what if I have a specific meeting or event, not just a lecture, where I have 30, 40, or 50 students attending? I might have a specific event or conference where more than 250, 300, or even 400 people will attend. I could send out an invitation for 500, and a large number might show up. In this case, you should choose the option called large session, which indicates that it can accommodate 250 people or more. So, 250 and above, right? In this situation, what you need to do is enable the option to allow 250 or more people to join, but this will only happen when 250 or more actually join. Message sharing was specified, and all permissions were enabled. With 300, 400 participants, there's high pressure. The system automatically stops. It stops all sharing until you enter and allow speaking or chat. This is about this part. Removing that feature allows enabling permissions. I can enable chat sharing. Normally, in a lecture with students, it stops all sharing until you enter. Then decide who can speak or chat. After removing that feature, I can enable permissions like chat sharing. In lectures, we allow chat messages and downloads. Before creating, check event details, because when I click create, watch what happens. And you can allow who can speak about this part. When we remove that feature, I can enable any of these permissions. I can click to allow chat message sharing. When creating, we do something called no problem. Clicking create changes it to save. The guest link will actually appear. Watch, I click create. It became save, right? And the link appeared. This link is, see that icon there. We choose chat message sharing and downloads of recordings. Before creating, I will check event details. Watch what happens. Clicking create changes it to save. Also, the guest link appears. Click the icon to copy the link. Use right click or Ctrl+C. The word create will change to save. The second thing is that the guest link will actually appear. You will see the link. We'll click on the word create. The word create changed to save and the link appeared. This link is, see that icon there. Click on it with the mouse to copy the link. You can either right click to copy the link or use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+C. So you can take the link from here and then go to WhatsApp or the chat, copy the link and send it to the person. You should also notice that this link must include the word guest. Click on it with the mouse to copy the link. What do? You take a copy of the link, or you can use the mouse, and then to take the link, you press Ctrl and C on the keyboard. Just keep in mind that it says to use the two keys from the keyboard. Ctrl and C to copy the link. So you can take the link from here. So you go to WhatsApp or the chat, and what's important is what you do. You copy the link and send it to the person you want to share the guest link with. You should also notice that this link must include the word guest. What does that mean? It means guest. So the word guest here indicates and confirms that this is the guest link. This is regarding the guest link. Okay, now that you're here, the guest link has appeared and the guest link line and all the settings are here. You just need to click on the word save. Then you can click outside of this window. Now, you can see the lecture we created from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Right now it's 5:50, so the session is in progress. What does that mean? It means that it's currently active and available for students to join along with the other students and the instructor. If we want to create another session and we want this session to be open-ended, what does open-ended mean? I was telling you earlier that if I set it from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., then my availability is limited from 4 to 7. But if I say from 4 p.m., it means it will be available indefinitely. It will remain available without an end date. I don't recommend this. It's just like this session you see here. I started it at 7:45, and that's the start time. But here, there's no end time specified, and next to it, it says available. This means that anytime, as long as the student is still in the class, they can open this session and join it. But it has no end, meaning it will remain available indefinitely. It will always be available without an end date. Of course, I don't recommend this. I don't recommend it at all, just like you. See in this session, I started it at 7:45, and that's the start date or time. But here, the end time is not specified, and next to it, it says available. This means that at any time, whether today, tomorrow, or next year, as long as the student is still in the class, they can open this session and join it. Of course, I do not recommend this type of session. I do not recommend it because the problem is that every time someone enters this session, the system records their attendance. I started doing this at 7:45. What is this for? The start date or start time, but here it doesn't have a specific end date and it says available next to it. So this is at any time. The student can do it today, tomorrow, or next year. As long as the student is present in the section, he can open this session and enter it. Of course, I do not recommend this part or this type. I do not recommend it at all. Why? Because the problem is that every time a student enters this session, the system records their attendance. Any student who enters a session that has no end, attendance is recorded. If a student enters and exits the session 50 times in a day, the system can create 50 attendance reports. Now, for repeated sessions, must I set it up each time? There's a session every Wednesday, 9:10 a.m. The system allows naming it Wednesday session or lecture. Now, regarding the repeated session, we have something called a recurring session. What does that mean? It means, do I have to set up the session every time? For example, I have a session with the students or lectures every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., just like today. Do I have to come in every time, name the session, set the guest arrival, set the start date, set the end date, and then check the settings? Do I have to do this every time? The system says no, we can do it like this and say, for example, Wednesday session or Wednesday lecture. Do I have to come in every time and set the session name and guest arrival, for example, if I need to, then set the start date, then set the end date, and then go in and check the settings? Do I have to do this every time? Here, the system says no, we can do it like this and say, for example, Wednesday session or Wednesday lecture. For example, I'm just going to write the word scheduled so I can distinguish it. 4:42. I'm just writing the word scheduled, web, and then you come and specify, for instance, that this session will be from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. every day. Let's assume we set the availability, and then I'll talk about the session's frequency. When setting the session's frequency, I chose weekly. Every week means a session today and next Wednesday. Every 2 weeks means a session today, skip next Wednesday, then the following one. Which day? Is it Wednesday? We have Saturday to Friday. Today is Wednesday, so let's keep it. If it's Thursday, set it to Thursday and cancel Wednesday. Click Wednesday, then Thursday to cancel. The green color shows the repeat day. I set it to Wednesday. Or every 2 weeks, or every 3 weeks. Every week means, for example, today there will be a session, and next Wednesday there will be a session. So every 2 weeks means today there's a session, but not next Wednesday, and yes, the Wednesday after that. No, we will work every week. So let's keep it every week. Now, which day will it be? Is it Wednesday? We have the days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So today is Wednesday. Let's keep it Wednesday. But if it's Thursday, we'll set it to Thursday and cancel Wednesday. If it's Wednesday, we click on Wednesday and then click on Thursday to cancel it. So we have the green color representing the day the lecture will repeat. So I set it to Wednesday. Now it's every week, and it will be 4 times every week. But for how many weeks? So here you see how many times will it end? 10 weeks or more. So here the letter of truth is the letter of Sunday. Today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So what is it today? Wednesday. We make it Wednesday. Okay, it is a day. For example, Thursday. We specify Thursday. We cancel Wednesday and make it Thursday. Okay, it is Wednesday. We click on Wednesday and click again on Thursday to cancel it. So for us, the green color represents the day on which the lecture will be repeated. So what did I make it on? Wednesday. All right, it will be every week, 4 times each week. But for how many weeks? You decide 10 weeks or more. Write the number. For example, 5 weeks. Some choose 10 weeks, depending on your schedule. Also, about early entry, will you allow them to log in early, like 15 or 30 minutes before, or exactly at 5? I recommend 15 minutes early. This way, if students face internet or device issues, they have time to fix them. It gives them a chance to resolve any issues and check their internet connection. You write the number. I'll write 5 weeks. Some write for 10 weeks based on schedule. So I'll write here 5 weeks. Now, about early entry, will you allow them to log in early, like 15 minutes before 4 or 30 minutes before, or do they have to log in exactly at 5, 15 minutes before? I recommend students log in 15 minutes early. Logging in early helps resolve internet or device issues before starting. Now, specify session settings as agreed. Then click Create in Event Details. Then we'll say Save. Or at least half an hour, 15 minutes. Why? Because when a student logs in, if they find there's an internet issue, or if they have a problem with their phone or laptop, they at least have that 15 minutes before you start to try to fix the problem. It gives them a chance to resolve any issues. And it's also an opportunity for them to check their internet connection and find a solution. Of course, you all will go to the session settings and set the options as we agreed. Let's not share audio, let's not share video, and let's not draw on the whiteboard. Then, what do? We'll go to the event details and say create. Of course, we didn't set up guest access, so we don't need that. Then we'll say save.